Did you know that the skunk carries a reputation that actually has a great deal of power? If you've ever smelled the overwhelming and unmistakable smell of a skunk, then you will know that you want to keep your distance from this furry little animal. And if you've ever seen a skunk in your day-to-day life or even in your nighttime dreams, that skunk might actually have a spiritual message for you. Just the other day, I had a dream that had a skunk in it. And I've never dreamed of a skunk before. I've never really seen a skunk in person, but I have smelled a skunk before. After I had this dream, it made me look into the spiritual meaning and significance of the skunk so that I could see what it is that my spirit was trying to tell me through that symbol that we know of as the skunk. In the dream, I was looking for my black cat, Obsidian. And in the dream, I thought maybe she got out. So I opened my front door and started to yell her name. And as I was yelling for Obsidian, I noticed that there was something black and furry laying on the front porch step. So I got a little closer to get a better look. And that's when I saw the white stripe going down its back. And my first thought was that was my cat, but somehow she got a white stripe painted down her back. And in the dream, it even reminded me of Penelope the cat from the Pepe Le Pew cartoons when I was a kid, because there was always a black cat who would get a white stripe painted down its back somehow. And Pepe Le Pew is a skunk who would think that the cat is a skunk and it would fall in love with this cat. But anyway, in my dream, I actually thought it was my cat. So when I said her name again, what I thought was my cat looked at me. And that's when I saw that it was actually a skunk, because I noticed the face. As soon as I saw that it was not my cat, but it was a skunk, I immediately backed up. And I didn't say or do anything. I just retreated into my home. And that's really all I remember of the dream. But the thing that stood out to me the most is that the skunk did nothing. It was just laying on the step. And all it did was look at me. And I immediately backed up and gave it its space. Even in real life, this is how anyone would act if they saw a skunk in their presence. When you see a skunk, you do not approach it. You actually back away from it. You automatically give that skunk its space and respect. Now, the respect of the skunk is also based purely on the skunk's reputation. Because if you cross that skunk, you will get sprayed. I wasn't real sure how skunks actually act in nature, so I decided to ask Google, what are the personality traits of a skunk? And it said that skunks are generally calm, gentle, and solitary animals with a personality mix similar to a cat or a ferret. They're deeply curious, playful, and slow to anger. So I found that interesting that even though they're very playful and slow to anger, we still give that skunk its space based purely on its reputation. Whenever I'm looking for spiritual significance, especially in any dream symbol, it is so important to reflect back on what has been going on in my life for the past day or few days before the dream took place. And sure enough, in my actual life, I was learning to assert my boundaries in a very calm, cool, and collected way, rather than automatically attacking or trying to defend myself, or shall we say, spray. So in my own life, I was actually experiencing this obstacle or challenge when it came to establishing my own boundaries with certain people in my life, and also with doing that in a very calm and peaceful way. The more that I thought about it and reflected on what was going on in my life in the couple of days before the dream, I realized that the message of the skunk, was being shown to me in both the positive and the negative side of it, and how your reputation will actually follow you no matter what you do, especially when it comes to people who already know the consequences of crossing your boundaries. As I was pondering my own life experience mixed with the spiritual significance of seeing a skunk in my dream, I decided to look at my medicine cards book and read up about the skunk in there. And it says that skunk is teaching you that by walking your talk and by respecting yourself, you will create a position of strength and honored reputation. The carriage of your body relates to others what you believe about yourself. There's no need to bully, aggravate, torment, or overpower other beings when your sense of self is intact. As with skunk, the resonant field of energy around your body is relayed through the senses. Self-esteem permeates the body's energy and is instantly recognized on an extrasensory level by others. So when you think about it, the skunk walks with confidence, very, very confident in who he is, he or she, that is. So the skunk has this respect automatically given to it based on the reputation, based on knowing what could happen. And that made me think about my own self and my own life experience as well, because sometimes when we change and grow into a different, more higher version of ourselves, sometimes the people that have been in our lives for a long time are going to think of you automatically in a certain type of way based on your past reputation, or maybe how you could have reacted to something in the past that you would calmly respond to now. So sometimes, because of our own reputation, people can fear a certain reaction out of us, even if we are no longer the person that would give them that type of reaction. Does that make sense? And then the book goes on to say, learn to assert without ego what you are. Respect follows. Your self-respectful attitude will repel those who are not of like mind, and yet will attract those who choose the same pathway. As the odor of skunk attracts others of its kind, it repels those who will not respect its space. And that's an important thing to remember, is that sometimes you don't want to attract everybody into your life, because not everybody is going to be of like mind as you. And some people come in with different thoughts of you, envy, jealousy, whatever. And that can also really change how they look at you based on their own self-esteem being reflected back to them. Now, as a separate message from the skunk, I realized too that one of my thoughts, even inside of the dream, reminded me of Pepe Le Pew, which is that famous skunk from the Looney Tunes cartoons. And he falls in love with the black cat because the cat always gets a stripe of white paint somehow painted down its back. So it makes Pepe Le Pew think that the cat is actually a skunk, and he falls in love with her. And I find it so interesting because in the medicine cards book, here's what it says regarding your energy, your sexual energy, and the skunk. It says, skunk medicine people also know how to use the energy flows that will attract a lover. Some people call this sexual magic, as it's akin to the musk scent that animals excrete to attract a mate. It can be dangerous to leak sexual energy if you're not looking for a mate. It puts you into a games condition that may feed your ego, but not how others feel about you. If you're attracting others who have an interest in you, you are in a sense saying, I'm available. This can cause hard feelings when the truth comes out. It also leaks energy that you could have used in a more constructive way. And that's the most important part about it, is the reminder of the skunk not to let your energy leak out to other people in one way or another, whether it's sexual attraction or even through those negative thoughts like envy, jealousy, things like that, to not let this energy of yours flow out in negative ways that are not constructive to what you are trying to create. Because then you're using your creative energy to actually create an environment for yourself that you don't want to create. So in the end, the spiritual significance and the message from your soul that comes through the skunk is reminding you to carry your body energy in a more powerful way by having self-esteem and just walking in your truth and being who you are, and allowing others to either be attracted or repelled. And, the more that you can walk in your own power, the more you're going to be attracting people who actually want that power in their lives, rather than the people who are going to only be repelled by the true you when your ego mask finally slips. So the skunk is reminding you that you don't have to stink in order to get someone's attention or to establish your boundary. You can stay calm, cool, and collected while carrying yourself with power. And there's no need to bully or to force your way onto others or your boundaries onto others. They will simply see you and know that that boundary exists. Skunk, tell me the story so I will know it well of how to attract and how to repel.